Hey YouTube, welcome back to a brand new Animal Crossing New Horizons video. Today we are breaking down 5 shops or building upgrades we could see in future updates. It's a fun one and will no doubt spark a lot of awesome discussions, so without further ado, let's get straight into today's video. So we are now a couple of weeks into 2021 and are pretty up to date when it comes to new content in New Horizons. The most recent update was back in November, which introduced the latest holidays such as Turkey Day and Toy Day, new seasonal items like the New Year's items, and of course new features like the new reactions and Dream Suite randomizer and things like that. Now the next big update is scheduled for sometime in late January, and so far all we really know is that Pave will return to the franchise and will most likely bring with him the Festival event. Of course, as with every seasonal update seen since the launch of New Horizons, there's a good chance this character and the holiday won't be the only new additions to the game. We'll most likely see a whole bunch of new content, new holidays, new characters and new features. Just as a recap for some of the new players out there, some of the most notable features we've seen added to the game since last March include new holidays such as Museum Day, May Day and Wedding Season, new characters such as Leaf and Gulliver, and new features like swimming and diving, reactions and the art gallery. So following this trend and the fact Nintendo has openly said on several occasions that New Horizons will be receiving updates for the next few years, it's not unreasonable to assume some of these updates will extend to new buildings, shops or upgrades. Especially seems New Horizons currently has far less than previous games in the Animal Crossing series. Now currently the only building upgrade we've really seen is to the museum, which added a whole new area for the artwork and even changed the outside of the museum too, but there's plenty of scope to bring back even more upgrades to the island. So with this in mind, here are 5 shop and shop upgrades we could see in the future. Number 1. Garden Shop. Now, one of the special characters who, believe it or not, wasn't actually in the game at launch was Leaf, who now randomly stops by the plaza to sell bush starts and flower seeds. He runs the pop-up garden shop and, like other visiting characters, randomly appears at least once every 2 weeks or so. Now, in past games, Leaf actually has his very own garden shop that, like Nook's Cranny for example, was a permanent shop that you could visit every day. So just like how Mabel was only a visiting character at the start of the game, it's likely at some point Leaf could get a building of his own and become a permanent resident of the New Horizons island. Personally, I'd even be open to having him move into another building, but more on that later. Number 2. Cafe. Now, there's no surprise that a cafe, or more specifically the Roost, is on this list. The Roost is a coffee house run by the fan favourite Brewster and has been a huge part of many Animal Crossing mainline games as both part of the museum and as a standalone building. Over the years, Brewster hasn't only made coffee for players and residents, but has also hosted KK Slider on stage, offered up additional storage for gyroids, which has also yet to return to New Horizons, and even given a job to players as a side quest of sorts. Furthermore, Brewster and the Roost was responsible for one of the largest mechanics in any Animal Crossing game and allowed you to make specific types of coffees for every single animal in the game. For example, Isabelle would drink a mocha with lots of milk and 3 spoonfuls of sugar. It was a cool feature. Anyway, given Brewster is such an iconic character, and there's also been rumours of the cafe returning based on past data mines, there's a chance we could see this building return to New Horizons in the future. Number 3. Museum Shop. Now, over the years, the museum has offered a variety of different features, with the Roost being the most obvious. However, another notable upgrade available to the museum was the museum shop and extra storage. In Animal Crossing New Leaf, for example, the museum could be upgraded with a second floor and a shop, run by Bladder's younger sister, Celeste. You could buy unique furniture and tool upgrades amongst other things. Furthermore, Celeste has run an observatory inside the museum in earlier games where you could create star constellations and things like that. So it's actually quite weird Celeste isn't already part of the museum. Anyway, as you know, like many other characters in New Horizons, Celeste isn't a permanent character and currently visits randomly during meteor showers. Now, Celeste is one of the more challenging characters to encounter, so I think it's feasible that the museum could see yet another upgrade that brings Celeste back to the museum. Although never confirmed, references to a museum shop have been seen in data mines, so it's not completely unrealistic. But what do you think? Would you like to see Celeste become a permanent resident, or are you happy with her just visiting? Number 4. Kix. Kix, who in the past runs a shop also called Kix, is currently a travelling special character who sells socks, shoes, bags and other accessories. His role is very similar to past games, except like Leaf, he no longer has a permanent shop and we rely on him visiting the Resident Services Plaza randomly in order to buy things. Now again, like many characters and shops we're highlighting today, we could see Kix become a permanent resident of the New Horizons island and eventually open up his own store. I'm not sure selling shoes and socks warrants his own building, but seems the Able Sisters is basically the only building without an upgrade, and they're in the same line of work. Maybe Kix could eventually move in with the Able Sisters on a second floor or something like that. Either way, it seems one direction the Animal Crossing team could take New Horizons is to eventually make all of the visiting characters move in permanently, or at least the ones who have had their own shops in the past. Number 5. Emporium. The final upgrade we could see in a future update is of course to Nook's Cranny in the form of an Emporium or much larger superstore type shop. Currently Nook's only has a couple of upgrades but has traditionally seen up to 5 upgrades in previous games. Now typically Nook's upgrades would see an expansion on the amount of things for sale or host other shops inside, such as Leaf's Garden Shop or Grace's high-end fashion store. To give you an idea, the largest upgrade to Nook's in New Leaf was the T&T Emporium, which held a massive 33 different items every day. That's quite a difference compared to what's available at the moment. So whether the likes of Leaf or Kix move into Nook's, or new characters like Gracie move into the island permanently, there's a good chance Nook's Cranny could get more upgrades in the future. Again, there is evidence to support this, including the base size of the building, but we've covered that in detail in a previous video. Of course, everything we've covered here today is speculative at best, but there has been a few rumours and bits and pieces of information pulled from data mines since the launch of the game that suggests some of these upgrades aren't that unrealistic and could be being worked on. But what do you think about this? Do you think shops on the New Horizons island need upgrades? Do you even have room for new buildings? Let us know your thoughts in the comments below. Anyway, for now, that pretty much wraps up this video. If you're an Animal Crossing fan, don't forget to subscribe, as I'll be uploading a bunch of New Horizons news as and when it happens. Until then, I'd like to give a special thank you to this channel's Patreon supporters, as well as this channel's members. You guys absolutely rock and truly help me upload as regularly as I do. I couldn't do it without you. Don't forget to head over to our Discord server too, and of course, if you made it to the end of the video, please comment shops, just to let me know you did. That would be super awesome, and please be sure to include which shop or building you would love to see return to New Horizons if you could only pick one. I'd love to know. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed this video and found it entertaining. Please be sure to leave a like if you did. Thanks for watching, I hope you have an amazing day, stay safe, and I'll see you on my next video. Peace.